Welcome in, everyone. This is the Morin in the Know podcast. I have a special guest to my right. My pops, my dad, Wayne Morin, is here from Montana. We have an eventful weekend. Tonight, we are setting up for the Culture Fit and Fashion Expo at the Phoenix Convention Center, August 13th. So really looking forward to it. Yesterday was my birthday. Turned 29 years old, so celebrated a beautiful birthday with friends and family and loved ones. And we are moving forward. Life moves on, man. I'm almost 30, so probably should get rocking and rolling. How does it feel to have almost two 30-year-olds?
That's crazy, man. I think just in the blink of an eye, I mean, time's passed way too fast. So it's a testament to make sure we live each day and moment the best we can, and really value the ones that we love and spend time with them. So I'm grateful to be out here for this trip to celebrate your birthday and see Jesse. You know, we got a lot of exciting things going on in the future as a family here, and just look forward to taking it each day as it comes.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome. I'd love to start that with this is, really just taking one day at a time. That's really the 1-3-6-5, and we'll get into that a little bit as this podcast goes on. But just taking a day at a time and being present and enjoying life. And I mean, a lot of life has already passed by, but there's a lot to be lived. And I think sometimes you can kind of daunt yourself on saying, holy shit, it's gone past. But in reality, there's so many more beautiful years ahead.
Absolutely, for sure. And that new motto you came up with, the 1-3-65, I mean, I think it is a great testament for, just not ourselves, but anybody listening to this podcast to really grab a hold of and take it for what it truly is. I mean, we're granted an opportunity every day to produce and be our best version of ourselves as we can. And, life's just about progressing and getting better one day at a time. And that's something I think that can really hit home with people and simplify the outlook of life at times. So,
because it can get overwhelming.
Very
all
overwhelming.
The shit that's going on right now in the world.
Oh,
when you turn on the TV, and you could be pretty overwhelmed in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's why I don't turn on the TV.
That's probably good. We don't have many TVs around here, and if you looked at my search history, it's mainly on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah, my girlfriend doesn't really like that too much. Me watching so much YouTube, but I'd rather watch that than I'd rather watch what I want to watch than have to pollute my mind with things to make me in such fear.
Absolutely.
Besides all the fear, and I've spoke about this in a couple podcasts before, is obviously when you start to look at supply chain management and the inflation and things that are happening, that is going on right now. We don't have to get into like specific details, but just broadly, let's maybe just speak about some of the challenges that we've had to overcome in the last couple of years amongst the times, the inflation, we're talking supply chain shortages, etc. Just talking about being a small business and a small company, not pumping out these huge numbers, and what's happened in the last few years for us to really have to stay in production.
Sure, a great question, Josh. It's really hard, especially with the raw material situation where they're sourced from, delayed times that we used to be able to put in orders and, get turnaround times in 8 weeks. We have some of our products now that were ordered back in February and, we're still waiting on them.
So crazy.
And to the customer, it seems sometimes that we're the ones dropping the ball, but ultimately, we've got our I's dotted and our T's crossed. And it's in black and white what we requested. It's just a supply issue chain, or sometimes being a small fish in a big sea too is, it's not in our best interest, or, our orders might not be getting the top priority. But that's also, one of the nice things that we do pride ourselves. We work with larger manufacturers that have very high quality control, and whether or not we're a big fish or a small one, whatever it is we're getting the utmost top quality new ingredients and products to the consumer. And that's what we strive for. We're not a numbers where we're trying to, get the cheapest product out there and monopolize the market as a whole. We want quality over quantity.
Absolutely. And so in the last couple of years, what have you seen as the biggest challenge to overcome to be and stay in business?
I think you have to stay creative. I mean, there's a lot of different companies that keep showing up, each month. There's definitely, I don't keep track of the statistics, but there's a lot of supplement companies that are, on the horizon trying to come out. But I think, circling back to that, it's just, it's a matter of providing a good quality service and being patient with the growth within the industry. especially during these times where costs keep getting driven up. I mean, even with the gas prices that have increased, that's been reflective on our shipment deliveries. I mean, there's so many charges that are incorporated into a delivery and of a shipment. You know, we have even a pallet cost now. You know, these things that we just never had in the past that keep driving the costs on top of the raws. And then, you know, the supply chains. I mean, creatine monohydrate's gone up in cost 800% in the last 12 months. And we're talking about this most simplest ingredient there is, but due to...
Could you ever imagine paying what you're paying now for creatine monohydrate?
Absolutely not. I mean, whether it's from a wholesale manufacturing or a, you know, consumer, you know, purchasing standpoint, the cost is inflated. It's a great product and it works extremely well. It's the most scientifically proven product there is, but come on, man. I mean, we're talking, you know, a pretty simple ingredient to be sourcing, but supply chains and shortages and social media really blew up creatine as what it was.
TikTok, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But,
yeah, so.
And I'm starting to see that because last night, actually, just to piggyback off of that, you know, we're growing our TikTok page. So if you're watching this little clip on TikTok, please give this page a follow. Head to fieldsupplements.com. And if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel so small businesses like us continually grow. And what I've seen on TikTok is it's so trendy. And I have almost 80,000 followers on my personal page on TikTok. And we just reached, yesterday on my birthday was my goal. We just reached 1,000 TikTok followers. Had 2 videos in the last couple of days get about 250,000 views.
That's incredible.
So the viewage, and that's why there's so much allure to TikTok, because of the feedback loop that's provided within the algorithm. If you take a look at somebody that's using a platform, right, in terms of social media, the platform users want that person to stay addicted and to stay on the platform. So what better way to create a dopamine release of having you have this allure that your videos or you and is important to the world, to society. So it's wanting to push this video out to as many people as possible, so then you receive this dopamine feedback loop that says, hey, I'm important.
Right.
And so you want to stay on the platform. And so I've seen what's going on within social media, and for me, I'm not seeking the payoff of the edge of the dopamine release.
Right.
I'm seeking the payoff of the price that's being paid and also received in terms of results that are putting through the website, through my coaching and all of my other businesses.
Sure.
It's a means to an end for me, and I care less about the likes and views.
Right.
I could have millions of likes and views, but if there's no profit being made, then you're still broke.
Correct.
And so what I've seen though on TikTok, just because I've dabbled in the last year and a half, is one thing gets put on there and it just gets completely blown out of proportion. It was funny because last night that got brought up because somebody asked me that we should put terkesterone,
correct,
and have a terkesterone product or ectosterone product. And I said, dude, we've been so far ahead the game, bro. we had laxosterone years ago, which I believe is a better product than both of them.
Sure.
And
Absolutely.
so it's just funny. It's like, oh, well, all of a sudden ectosterone got huge on TikTok.
Right.
And now everybody and their brother think it's the most anabolic substance that you can build as a natural ever.
Right.
And then creatine monohydrate all of a sudden got massive on TikTok. And so maybe talk about, obviously we have a different views because I'm very involved in social media.
Correct.
And you're more involved on a micro and macro and micro in different aspects in terms of production, manufacturing. Your understanding of the industry is much more in depth of mine. You've had 30 plus years of experience, as well as hands-on, because you've had a brick and mortar store for almost 30 years now.
Correct.
So
yep.
What are you seeing in terms of influence on social media versus buying habits within the shop?
Yeah, it's really reflective, definitely. I mean, people are easily influenced, especially now when you have all these social media influencers that are promoting products that, like, we were just visiting about the creatine, and that was a product that when I opened up our store back in 1995 was, I think, on the shelves maybe a year or two later than that, 97ish, somewhere around there, and got really popularized, and then it faded off again. But then you get a real strong influencer that really can turn the tables again, and people just get persuaded to purchasing products because of the visual effect of that individual instead of their knowledge base. So we continue to strive to educate ourselves and find new products and new innovations that can be formulated into products to enhance their performance and and whatnot. But what I see happening, Josh, is even with those new ingredients and profiles that are available, the consumer really doesn't understand that as much. So they're just being, I don't want to say misguided is the right word, but influenced to buy whatever is popular at the time. And popularity isn't always what's best for the consumer, you know. And everybody, we all have individual needs and individual goals. So I think it's relative to keep that in perspective when people are looking at ingredient structures and profiles on products to ensure that they're getting what they're seeking, I guess, you know.
Right. I call it the hot pocket. You know, you want it to be done in 60 seconds or less, and you want it hot and ready. You know, right in your hands.
Right.
And people want information like that.
Sure.
And so all of a sudden somebody comes on and says, "Hey man, you should start taking creatine monohydrate. It's going to change your life." And then they have a massive influence and following and affluence within people. And then you start to look at it like, man, you know, these products and some of the ingredients and some of the products that are being like really highlighted through social media isn't saying that they're not worthy.
Correct.
It's like KSM 66 and ashwagandha. Like on TikTok, that was all of a sudden the male hormone test boosting product of the year.
Sure.
And we've had KSM 66 and ashwagandha in our products for years. We're like,
Right.
But in reality, is it really? You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
Is there a lot of great benefits as its adaptogenic effects and reduction of cortisol and everything else and such? But is it going to raise free testosterone? 10 points and your total test hundreds of points?
Most likely not.
Probably not.
But it does have some hormonal exhibiting effects for sure. But I definitely
Right.
understand where you're getting with that.
I just think they take these products and they blow them out of proportion, and then all of a
100%.
sudden I feel that, like you said, when we stay ahead of the game on a lot of our ingredient profiles as well as our trademarked ingredients, is that sometimes they get lost in the sauce because nobody knows them or it hasn't hit the mainstream yet, and it's like the consumer doesn't really understand like the value of truly what's in that product.
Sure, absolutely.
So it's an interesting thing. It's interesting to see the influence of social media over the last handful of years, because obviously there was a time in your brick and mortar store where there was no such thing as social media.
Yeah, those were the good old days in my opinion.
Yeah.
I liked them, but
Right.
definitely, I mean, there's pros and cons with it all, Josh, and I'm sure we all have our different viewpoints and outlooks on that. So you
Right.
got to change with the time and gravitate towards what's going to help individuals be successful from a performance standpoint, but then also from a business standpoint, you have to look at things as well.
Absolutely. And I think that what, just revolving back to what you said earlier, is we have to continually stay creative and continually stay and meet market standards and exceed market standards. Mm-hmm. And you have to start to look at, number one, trends, and also understand how and why people are buying product. And when you can understand these things, is say, hey, like if we were like, we don't want to do social media, or we don't want to do this because it's not what we want to do, or we don't, we would be lost in the sauce.
Absolutely.
And so even within your shop, I mean, you have a brick and mortar store. I mean, you never had to I mean, it was a different type of advertising. Now it's free advertising.
Correct.
But you used to do a lot of radio, used to do a lot of even TV stuff.
Sure.
So talk about that change. So do you do any of that anymore for advertising and promotion?
In Montana, obviously it's a little bit different environment than here
This
in
is true.
Phoenix. We're kind of the only, I won't say the only, but we've been in there and established for 28 years. So our best form of advertising from day one, in my opinion, was the face-to-face interaction and word of mouth sales.
Absolutely.
We have invested heavily in radio at times, and I never was had much success with print, and I was just talking to Jesse about that previously this morning. And so I mean, with the change in times of the social media, it is free advertising, but I still think in where we're located in Montana, the word of mouth is definitely the best. From our marketing standpoint, on a limited advertising budget with the field supplements, the social media is a huge asset to have. So we're very grateful for our following that we have that, follows us and then suggests our products to friends and family. And that's helping us grow on a organic level instead of having to invest, lots of money that is really not present for advertising purposes. So we like to put that money back into products and improving the line and doing other various things within the field supplements brand that we can, instead of just, trying to put a mass market advertising plan approach.
Right. Well, when I do a lot of reading, and it talks about attraction versus promotion. And for every ad, for when you raise your ads, you have to also raise your value of the price that you sell it at. Let's say you have a $2,000 product. Well, it's not a $2,000 product anymore if you have $500 in ad expenditures. It's
Correct.
a $1,500 product now.
Right.
So to every time you continually continually increase your ad expenditure, you also have to increase your top end.
Correct.
And so ultimately, you're just going to be chasing tail. Sure. That's why in recent times we have more been focused on attraction versus promotion. We don't run many ads. We're not spending tons of money on that, ad campaigns, funneling systems, etc. And what we do is we deliver our best value and service in terms of education, advice, and training, and believing that will create a community and culture for people to want to keep coming back. And I've seen that in field over the last 5 years. And so, but speak about what you've seen just like within the TNT family. So for those that are listening on this podcast, he's on a brick and mortar store in Montana called Total Nutrition and Tanning. It was the OGs would know it as Total Nutrition and Fitness, TNF. But TNT was born in what year?
1995.
1995. And so from 1995, that was 2 years after I was born.
Yeah.
So 27 years now you have been in business.
Correct.
And so over the last 27 years, he's cultivated this community within Great Falls, Montana. Now, like you said before, Montana is a little different in terms of life up there. They're probably still a little bit behind the rest of the world.
Just the way I like it.
But that's okay though. I mean, and it still shows that there's a hominess about Montana.
For sure.
And a family structure, and people still want to come in and talk to you and still want to come in and buy product, and
Absolutely.
And they still want to see the guys at the store, and that's a cool thing because that's being lost. And you start to look at shopping malls, you start to look at shopping centers, they're empty, they're gone, and to see stores and brick and mortar still thriving in some areas is really cool. But talk about the community over the last 30 years through TNT, outside of even field and everything else, but talk about the community and really what's led to success and maintaining. And I mean, over the last 30 years, you've definitely have overcome challenges, and you've definitely had to overcome some times of really some hard times.
Sure.
What do you feel can be contributed to your success over the last 30 years?
I just think actions, more than anything. Consistency of treating people the way that you would want to be treated, providing a good, high-quality service at a reasonable price, and developing friendships and relationships. I think without that personal touch, we're just another, store where the door opens and closes. It's when you come in the store, you're greeted, friendly and professionally, and then, we do provide the best knowledge that we can on all the products in the store, not just on the Fueled brand or whatnot, but everything that we offer. I've been very grateful and fortunate to have a very strong staff, which I consider family, in itself. So bringing that type of family bond and atmosphere into the store provides a very close-knit feeling, and then the customers, I think, feel that as well. So other than, you can buy products anywhere these days online. You can buy them you can go Walmart and buy whatever you want, So what separates it is the way you treat people, the knowledge base, and the customer experience as a whole, and that's what we continue to strive for, is developing those friendships and those relationships. Well, when John or Susie comes in, they're looking forward to seeing us instead of, they getting greeted in an unpleasant way, which seems to be more the norm lately when you go into these different establishments. There's just so many unhappy employees,
Right.
And that resonates within the vibe of the entire shopping experience. And that's something I just feel that's kind of separated us, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. And as we've said in the past, is through online, there's so much saturation, and it's easy when you don't have that one-on-one relationship with somebody for somebody to want to go buy a product from somewhere else.
Right.
And it's not my job to be, the keeper of people, but it's understanding that not everybody's going to stick around, but just doing my best to provide a service and community and culture where people want to stick around. And that is something that I feel we have the foundation of Field, the reason why even Field has had the level of success as a small company with low ad expenditure, without having millions and millions of dollars of investing, and put all of this into it, and no big names in the industry, and we've had fairly decent success as a small dog,
For sure.
And I feel though that the reason being is because of the foundation that was built with Total Nutrition and Tanning, and without that foundation we would be years behind. As we have weathered the storm this last year, obviously we're in this rebuilding phase of new creation, inspiration, and collaborations with people. We've started to collaborate with new gyms, new partnerships with athletes and affiliates, and we started having some new designs that we've been creating. We've come out with a lot of great things that aesthetically are pleasing whilst maintaining the same foundational principles that got us to the dance.
Sure.
And I think, and that's funny because I always say this, is in recent times, you got to go with who brought you to the dance. And I feel, for me personally, just be completely transparent. Along the way, for a little while, I just lost track of who got me to the dance.
Absolutely.
And now I've really refocused and committed myself to building this brand and what it's capable of being. So with everything that's going on with the aesthetics and everything, maybe break down some of the cool things that we have in the works and really what you're looking forward to.
Yeah, I think one of the coolest and most exciting things, Josh, is just the excitement that is on the table, knowing that your dedication level and commitment to growing the brand is very strong and present once again. And, that excites me to be more proactive in bringing in new products, athletes, like you said, new clothing and, designs.
Yeah, it's cool, right?
You got some cool things that we're working on that just keeps the excitement of the day-to-day grind more appealing. But I think as a whole, what we're going to continue to do is if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I think we're going to continue to work on our ethics of
You're good.
Oh, good. Thank you. Continue to work on our ethics of, bringing quality products and, providing the best customer service that we can. But lots of fun and exciting things. I think I don't want to spill the beans too much as we've done in the past, but we do have some new things on the horizons that will gain some interest, some new looks maybe, and just keep chipping away that 365.
Yeah, it's cool. So. And the biggest thing too is, and I'm not here to trash on other companies, but I think what really separates us is I want to continually be as unique as possible.
Absolutely.
It's so easy to look at what's trending in the market and then everybody copying each other. We were just at the USA's this weekend. I said this in my last recent podcast. We were just at the USA's this weekend, and there was 4 companies that were wolves. It was, I don't even have to say what the companies are. You could probably name 4 companies, and every company now has a wolf. How original can you? Everybody just is carbon copying one another and trying to use the same deal,
piggybacking off of each other for financial reward, more or less, is what they try to do.
Exactly. For us, it's like, first off, I'm just not a fan of that. And second, it's like, I just don't feel. There's no original nature to that. I don't, as a creator myself, maybe I'm not a born graphic design artist, but we are creators, and I'm a creator. I'm creating content. I'm producing aesthetics within my day to day in terms of my audios, the videos, my photos, the graphics, etc. And I think that that's something too, is within the industry. I feel that we've aligned ourselves with the right people. Absolutely. As well as we've had the mindset and clarity heading into this to maintain a level of originality and without having to subside to what the market is promoting, rather keeping hold of and anchored down to our own morals.
Absolutely, Josh. You've done a great job with continue to bring out that type of feel to the brand, and I think it's just going to get stronger and stronger as we collaborate and grow together here in this last quarter, and obviously in the future as well. So
yes, it's just I just don't want to be a carbon copy in the industry, man. And I would if that meant riches or whatever it be, it wouldn't be worth it to me. I'd rather wake up and we've talked about this many times, especially when it comes to our product ingredient formulas.
Oh, for sure.
As we understand the margins in the industry, and I've said this about a few brand new pre-workouts that I've seen that are priced the same, if not more, than our all-in-one performance pre's that are like actually 3 times the amount of gradient and dosing. 3 times. So it'd be like taking 3 scoops of that.
Right.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it's not even in the same ball. I mean, we're not even in the same league. We're not even in the same state on some of these companies, but they have big influence and affluence. So as we continue to build via our roots of person to person organic attraction, you know, what would you like to see to maybe potentially what we can improve on in the upcoming months to year?
That's a great question and a tough one at the same time, Josh. I feel that we try to bring our best self to the game every single day, but I think maybe there's some gaps in the line that we could improve upon with the wellness.
Yeah.
And that's something that we're gonna work towards. I think on the pre-workout industry is so saturated,
right.
but and we do carry a lot of different pre-workouts and some great alternatives from stem and non-stem and all the different varieties. But I think as we try to grow the brand, I think we need to open up our minds as well and understand that there's a need for some wellness ingredients out there or products, and I think that might be something that we'll work towards a little bit more diligently in this upcoming year. But also continue to research ingredients that will enhance the individual's performance as well as their mental and well-being. So
that's great. Always improving and having the ability to discern your own character defects and where you can grow. I mean, that's ultimately the key to success.
For sure.
And I think we've done a good job of that over the last handful of years of continually getting better, improving, seeing where we can improve on. And from where we started, I'm just looking at, I have this little plaque on my wall. It says F1. It was the first year in business, established in 2017. And just to even look at, our ingredient formulas, we're always pretty solid. But seeing how far we've come in 5 years, the aesthetic, and then flavoring.
Flavoring for sure.
So would you say that flavoring is probably our biggest improvement?
Yes, and just so the consumer understands that, Josh, that's the hardest obstacle I think in companies that really heavily dose their formulas is to try to get the flavoring spot on, because we can take a watered down approach and put a 5 or a 10 gram ingredient profile and make it taste like Kool-Aid.
Right.
But when you're putting efficaciously dosed ingredients, we're running 30 grams plus on a pre-workout with no amino acids in there towards the 30 gram profile, it does become a challenge for our manufacturer to get a lot of these ingredients to taste delicious,
Candy-like. That's what
correct.
everybody wants, is candy-like.
But a lot of what's, in harsh reality, the performance ingredients that work have some bitterness to them. It's really hard to subside, get rid of that taste per se. So I think flavoring has been our strongest challenge, but we've definitely continued to seek improvement in that and strive for the best tasting and quality products we can as a whole, while not sacrificing our structure of our profiles.
Absolutely. And you can make any product taste like Kool-Aid when it's fairy dusted.
Right.
And
for sure.
As well as or add aminos to it, or add some sort of carb to it, or glucose or whatever it is. I mean, if you throw some glucose, and most people are just using glucose, they're not even using carbolin or they're not even using a trademarked version of it.
Correct.
They're just using a cheap form of sugar.
Yep.
And it's really easy. If you want to put 25 grams of sugar in a product, you can make anything taste delicious.
Absolutely, for sure.
I mean, so we really do pride ourselves, especially since I think most of the market has become full transparent.
For sure.
And you've had to, otherwise you're going to get left in the dirt.
And that's a good and a bad thing. I mean, it's easy for formulators out there to just piggyback and copy off, ingredient profiles without researching ingredients and seeing how certain profiles work synergistically with each other, because sometimes it's a teeter-totter. You put in a vasodilator, but you got too much vasoconstrictors and so it's definitely good for the consumer to be able to see what they're utilizing. And then on the other flip side of it, has made copycat versions of formulas and stuff in the industry a little bit more easily obtained.
Right.
So
it's really twofold then.
correct.
Right.
Yes.
Twofold. But it's also, to me, it's sometimes it's like, okay, well, they're full disclosure. Just look at the ingredients and the amount of grams and the dosing, and then just compare it that way. And then if you start to say that doesn't really line up, then take a look at clinical dosing, effectuous dosing, where the product becomes efficaciously dosed for it to be utilized within the body.
Correct.
And then, I mean, these are all simple things that you can find on Google.
Right.
So if you're a consumer out there and you've never taken products before, that's what we highly suggest is, so when you look at an ingredient profile, if you don't know an ingredient or if you don't understand what ingredient dosing is, a great source is at your fingertips. You have this supercomputer on demand right here. Type it in. I mean, you're going to probably receive there's going to be some variable of different opinion, but in reality, you kind of meet it in the middle. It's like creatine, like the creatine, 5 to 10 grams.
Correct.
I mean, you can find this on Google.
Right.
I mean, it's all available. I mean, you can find it now. You don't have to preload creatine anymore.
Yeah, back in the days where they'd have you do 5 grams 6 times a day, 30 grams, and you're eating half the bottle in the first week. I mean, it was great for the marketing aspect of it, but not very advantageous to the consumer as a whole.
Yeah.
You know, it's just crazy.
I'm glad that science in many ways has improved.
For sure.
And that's what we continually do. That's what we're continually committed to, is improving our ingredient profiles on the basis of science and what we know is going to be effective.
Correct.
It's super easy. We've said this many times, and I don't want to go down this road of fairy dusting products to cut corners for profitability.
For sure.
We just won't do it.
And haven't.
And we'll never. And the thing is, and I will continually go back to this, if I'm taking a product, I want to take a product that's best for me, the absolute best.
For sure.
So why would I formulate a product for the general populace knowing that it's subpar to what I would even want to put in my own body?
That's the way when we sit down and do these formulas and collaborate and do, trial and error with the sampling and whatnot, that's what it ultimately comes down to is this something that we would want to use?
Right.
I don't want to put my name or our company name on something that we're not proud of. So,
what would you say is your favorite product in the line?
Oh, geez, as a whole,
if you're just to pick one product that you had, that's all you could have in an entire line.
I probably, unfortunately, would just say the simplicity of a protein, just due to the convenience of having readily accessible protein at your fingertips. I mean, I do feel in each category has its advantages, but just where I'm at, I think a protein would be advantageous.
I'd say reversal for me.
Oh, great. Yes, I guess.
Yeah.
For sure. And hopefully that's one of the products we've been waiting on since January. So hopefully we'll have, our triple berry back in stock here by the end of the month, sometime early September. And then we do have orange creamsicle coming back on the shelves and on the website as well, hopefully within November timeframe. So we're going to stick to those 2 flavors, the triple berry and the orange creamsicle, as our mainstay. Formula is not going to change because I feel that formula has been, dead center bullseye from the get-go. I don't think you can get, it's a 72 gram serving size. I mean, it's got everything in the kitchen sink in there. So that would definitely be my favorite overall product.
Absolutely.
So,
and it's worth the value too.
oh gosh.
So we have 5 trademarked ingredients in there.
5 trademark, correct.
And there's over 15 performance ingredients.
Correct.
And
actually, I think there's 18 in
18 now. And then 70 plus gram serving size.
72, correct.
72 gram serving size. I mean, does it get any better?
I don't think so. I mean, you got protein, and so protein is the protein-based protein.
Yeah.
We got 25
Trademarked.
grams of carbolin in there.
Trademarked.
We've got creatinine, which is, a trademark version of creatine monohydrate.
pH balanced, pH specific.
Correct.
Trademarked.
We got glutazorb, which is a trademarked ingredient as well for
Stable.
For glutamine.
Trademarked.
Yep. We got the creselazine, which is, Dr. Jeff Galini's formula for anti-inflammation and recovery. And then trademarked once again. And then we have a plethora, like L-carnitine tartrate at 2,500 milligrams, which is, unheard of. That product is so expensive in itself and undervalued and under-recognized within the industry unless you're a consumer or a knowledgeable base of what that product actually does. We got betaine anhydrous. We have all the amino acids from all the branched chain, isoleucine, leucine, and valine, and the 6 essential amino acids that go along with it. So the product is just stacked from top to bottom.
Yes.
And it's so diversified in the approach that you can take to utilizing it as a consumer. It's foolproof, more or less.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that'd be my number one.
For sure.
That'd be my number one.
Heck, you even use it as a pre-workout.
I do use it, and that's what I've been promoting more through my videos and understanding of these products is that even though that it's a post-workout, the utilization can vary.
Absolutely.
Based off your goals. For me, I love using it as a pre-workout.
Sure.
Quick acting, low insulin, low glycemic carbohydrates with the Carbolin in my bloodstream like this. It already has a creatine in there. It has my aminos, which I typically take stacked together.
Right.
It's got a little bit of protein in there, which is great.
Yep.
And then it has all these other products that are going to assist me with sustaining my workouts, especially now that I've been more in this like power building,
Sure.
where I'm doing powerlifting movements with bodybuilding exercises.
Absolutely.
Where some of my workouts are very high output, and I know that I'm going to have a glycogen dump.
Yep.
And so just even sipping on it through the workout has saved my butt so many times.
You know, I'd never realized, I'm a low volume approach guy to training, but as I've aged, I've still struggled with recovery. And I'll tell you what, when I do not take the reversal, my DOMS, the delayed onset muscle soreness, is significant. I mean, my recovery time is definitely cut in half, and that's not a promotional, that's the truth.
It is the truth.
I mean, until you try it and utilize it yourself, it's just kind of one of those things that you have to, it's a on-hands personal experience you have to try, you know?
Absolutely. So, for us to even sit here and for us to be like easy to say, oh, well, one of our pre-workouts or one of our most profitable products. I mean, this is where most people would want to go.
For sure.
And for honestly, it is definitely not our most profitable product.
It's our most costly product, for sure.
I mean, it costs so much to even get an order in. And then in terms of ROI on it, we could spend so much different time on other products promoting
Absolutely.
it. But once again, goes back to us wanting what's best for ourselves, number one, and us wanting what's best to consumer, number two. We don't want to cut corners for profitability. We want results, production, results. I mean, why the fuck would you want anything else in the gym?
For sure, absolutely. That's when we formulated that product, we sat down and we communicated about what we wanted to put in it and went back in the pros and cons. And some people don't want a protein in their, intra product. Some people don't want it in the post product or a pre. And I'm like, hey, man, all the different scientific studies and results. I mean, we wanted to be stacked.
Yeah.
So it's definitely stacked.
No brainer.
No brainer whatsoever.
No brainer. It was funny because I didn't have any on hand here for months.
Yes.
And then the first day that I had some, and I sold all four. I had 4 units sell within like 5 hours of each other.
That's awesome.
And everybody that's used it, love it.
Correct.
And they go, man. I mean, Bert, one of our affiliates, Bert Wallace, he trains at 4 a.m, and he's been using it as a pre and intra at 4.
And just one other quick thing to touch base on that. We have another one of our athletes that's a UFC fighter that's getting ready for the Dana White Contender Series. And the cool thing is USADA. That correct?
Yep.
They have a very stringent profile.
Oh, this is great information.
Profile listing of ingredients that you can use and you can't use, and affiliations within the industry when it comes to manufacturing that has to be included on the labeling so the athletes are safe and not testing for
banned substances.
Thank you. Correct. And so I was talking to Meredith, and she's like, what can I said, hey, we got the kitchen sink, everything that you're going to need for your entire fight camp in one product here, and it meets every single criteria of the UFC and USADA. So when you can sit there and put that type of stamp on a product of that magnitude and feel comfortable to recommend it to, like, this gal's, this is her future. I mean, and feel confident and safe, be like, this is 100% compliant. There's going to be no banned substances. This is one of the things I was talking about earlier about a crate fee now, or a pallet fee, I'm sorry, because they have a disposal. They don't even let the pallets into their facility because 4 or 5 years ago they had a individual that was trace contacted somehow, and the only thing they could thought of is somehow it might have gone on a pallet. So they don't even allow pallets into their facility any longer. It's crazy. So getting back to the whole quality, control and the efficacious dosing and the all-in-one product, I mean, you can rest assured that everything that you're paying for is in that product.
Absolutely.
So
sleep easy at night.
absolutely, that's the best way.
From everyday gym goers to the highest level of elite athletes.
For sure.
I mean, that's the stamp of approval that we seek to have on our products, and stamp of approval that we seek to have on people. And really, this is a fueled family, and it's been nothing but that in the last handful of years. I've talked to Jimmy House. Jimmy is one of our athletes, and we have some cool things that we're working on with Jimmy, so stay tuned for that if you're watching this podcast. Some really awesome things. Cool. And shout out to Power Precision. I don't wear many other brands other than myself or my friends, but Power Precision, Jerry Morales at Power Precision and Jay have really supplied field supplements with a beautiful home to be able to connect and collaborate and to really start to create this new wave of education and collaboration within the industry. And I think Jimmy and I have produced some pretty funny and cool videos and some fun stuff, and we work well together.
Absolutely. Jimmy's a first-class guy, and couldn't be more honored or grateful that he's part of our team, and looking forward. Actually, I think we'll get to see him tomorrow.
And tonight too, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think he's going to be there at Power Precision. You'll meet Jerry for the first time tonight.
Great.
And so it's great. I mean, this is truly a family, and what I love about us is we don't, like I said, we don't have the Phil Heaths of the world or the Jay Cutlers of the world promoting our products, and when in reality they're probably not taking aminos.
Well, they're taking aminos already. Some special kind.
Yeah,
we won't get into that.
2 grams of aminos.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
For sure.
The trenbolone sandwiches that they're eating in their lunchbox that they bring to the gym.
Yes.
We'll touch on that another time. It'd be a fun podcast to do for sure. But we look at a guy like Jimmy, lifetime natural,
incredible athlete, freak in nature, anomaly as we would call him. Gentleman that can deadlift over 700 pounds and do the splits and backflips, and you look at him and you're just like, how is that humanly possible?
Freak.
So, yeah,
he's part of such a small percentage of people.
And the coolest thing about him is talking about circling back to the whole family approach and whatnot. It's an individual that we're proud to be around. I mean, super humble, down to earth, the lowest ego that you could ever even imagine, and the man is a specimen in all categories. I mean, I've never seen him treat another human being in a negative manner. So those are the things I think we want to continue to pride and grow our branding around, as like-minded individuals like Jimmy that see the value as, not just a financial attachment to a company or a reward, but what we can piggyback off of each other and leverage our strength and our weakness and develop those bonds and those friendships and those loyalties to each other. So I think that's something that's of utmost importance, but it's been lost in the industry where we get, I sure you can attest, online, Josh, but every day somebody comes in the store and wants
sponsorship.
Hey, yeah, you gonna sponsor me? Like, yeah, sure, I'll sponsor. Have you ever tried fuel supplements before, or any of the products in the store for that matter? Right. Ever even met you?
Right.
No, but I'm going to be this new UFC star. I'm going to be this new bodybuilding champion, or I'm going to be great. Well, thank you. Well, we have a lot of those in the past that have said the same thing, and less than 1% has materialized. So, I think it's important that you stay within your realm of your network of those people that you want to be around. So.
Yeah, it's Jimmy, just circling back, and many people that we've been involved in. I know we haven't. Jacob Graham is somebody that we had. He was my roommate. Our first IFBB professional bodybuilder in classic physique. I mean, that's impressive.
Yes. Did you hear that, Jimmy? Get training again. I want to see you on stage in 2023.
I love that.
That'd be awesome.
We'll travel, man. But just circling back is all these guys have never asked for anything for free. They've never asked for handouts. And to me, those are the type of people. When you do business, when you truly do business, you will see who really cares, because those people won't ask for discounts. They won't ask for freebies or handouts. They're willing to pay the price, and they never even mention it. The only time it's ever brought up is because, hey, man, let me just give you a little discount. Sure. Let me give you a freebie here.
Absolutely.
And to me, and a lot of times they don't even want to take it. They're like, no, just charge me whatever the price. Charge me that price. And
that's a credibility to their character.
Right.
They want to have skin in the game. Once they get the skin in the game and see there's some return and some value to what they provide, and then it's a mutual,
Right.
win-win for everybody,
And that's what we want to continually develop and build is win-wins for everyone.
Sure.
So with that, guys, this is the More in the Know podcast. Is a special edition to have my father, Wayne Morin, on the today's cast.
My pleasure.
The first time we've got on here and chatted.
I think so, Josh. We've done some lives, but I don't think I've ever done the podcast.
Yeah, we'll have to make this more of a... Well, you're going to be coming down. I'm not going to give too much information there, but I will very, very soon on that. But you'll be coming down here quite often. Well, at least you have some grandkids.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Yeah, your daughter's pregnant.
Jesse,
yeah,
got a little boy that's in the works there, and looking forward to spending
excited to be grandpa.
Oh, it's an incredible.
Grandpa Bruce, you like that name?
We're still debating on if it's grandpa or papa.
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
So I texted Lynn earlier. So Lynn is his girlfriend.
Yes.
I texted Lynn earlier, or Lynn texted me, and then I said, Grandma Lynn has a good ring to it, though. I said, I know Bruce is indifferent with what he wants to be called, so we'll have to work on it. Grandpa Bruce wasn't his top choice. This is what Lynn says. I keep telling him it's not his choice.
That is true.
Whatever the babies call you is what you are, and you'll love it.
That's right. That is the truth of the matter. So I'll be blessed as long as they're healthy and have 10 fingers and toes and can be able to smile. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. So please like, comment, subscribe to this channel to keep this channel growing. And if you're watching on any other platform, appreciate you all listening in from Apple, from Spotify. It's been an honor and a privilege to continually build this brand, this culture, and this community. And if you want to be part of the Field family, head to fieldsupplements.com. In the description box and my YouTube, it's code Morin to give you a nice little fat discount that's not offered anywhere else. Be sure to check me out at More in the Know on my Instagram. My TikTok's the same, More in the Know. And of course, TikTok, Field Supplements, all this information can be found in the description box. And if you want to check out what's happening in Great Falls, Montana, or the culture that's being built there at Total Nutrition and Tanning, you can head to tntgreatfalls.com and or on their Facebook at Total Nutrition and Tanning, or Instagram page at Total Nutrition and Tanning. Correct. Bruce, you got any final words for everyone?
No, I'm just blessed and grateful to be here. I'm looking forward to the next 2 days we get to spend each other doing some training, some eating, the expo, and our future visits, and to continue to grow this brand as a family. So I'm really blessed and grateful to be able to have you part of my life doing that.
I love it. It's been a family thing. A lot of beautiful blessings and beautiful memories to be made. Make some beautiful blessings and memories in your own life. Take charge of your life one day at a time for the rest of your life. And that concludes today's podcast. Peace out.